Alrighty, a few topics today. We on the black where we cover baseball with flavor like chocolate, and the big topic that Josh Naylor decided to re-sign with the Seattle Mariners, and we're going to get all into why we believe that's a big deal and also why we support that cause, because your boy Josh Naylor been holding it down for whatever team he's been on for the last few years, and it's about time he got his just due. So we'll definitely get ourselves into that. In addition to that, let's talk Canada baseball and the future of how Canada has been so impactful on this game, at least this year. And for that, I have to include, obviously, your boy Vladdy was involved, but also rising stars like Denzel Clarke, who are getting their shine right now. So I want to give them they just due, as I also list off my favorite Josh Naylor plays and the things that he's done this year that I thought was so cool. As well as, can I do a little something different? Because I am a whole nerd in this bit. Can I bring up how I think that Star Trek may have predicted Shohei Ohtani? You think it's possible? I don't know, man. I'm peeping Deep Space Nine. I'm looking back at it, and it feels like there may be some correlation there. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. Off the rip for our first topic, let's go ahead and talk about the good news for Mr. Josh Naylor. So Josh Naylor is now officially a Seattle Mariner. Well, I guess I shouldn't say official, because there's still a few I's to be dotted, some T's to be crossed. So we don't know exactly where he's going to end up with regard to how much money he's going to make out of this deal. Oh, why are you still there, Star Trek? Out of this deal. But I like to talk about what it is that brought him to this deal and why I feel like it's significant. Well, at least why I think it's pretty cool. Because if you've been watching Josh Naylor since he's been in the MLB, you've seen he's kind of an impact player, right? Especially when it was the whole Naylor brothers thing when they were in Cleveland. So why is it significant for Josh Naylor to be signing for 5 years? Because Josh Naylor has been the guy on the couch for the past couple of years. Even when he was with Cleveland, he was getting 1 year deal after 1 year deal. And so now, instead of him having to figure out what's going to happen at the end of this contract, he finally has some confidence that he doesn't have to worry about a slump or whether he's going to get traded or if he's not going to be able to actually contribute to the same team the following season, because, hey, now he's got a 5-year contract. So let's dig into the specifics about this 5-year contract. What we don't know is how much it is, for how many years, the AAV, the incentives, all that. What we do know is that this is the first multi-year deal, if I'm not mistaken, that Josh Naylor has been offered in the last few years. Dating back to his time with Cleveland, he was given 1 year deal after 1 year deal. In 2023, if I'm not mistaken, it looks like his 1 year deal was somewhere around $3 million. And then the following year, he was given another 1 year deal for somewhere in the arena of $6 and $7 million. And around this time, this is when we start to see Mr. Josh Naylor come out of his shell. As a matter of fact, that was when we saw him and his brother, unfortunately, had to separate because they were both hitting the ball pretty good up there in Cleveland. But Josh Naylor ended up leaving and going over to the Diamondbacks, joined the likes of folks like Corbin Carroll, at the time, Eugenio Suarez. You got my man Lourdes out in the outfield with the crazy purple hair. They had Corbin Burns, ended up getting injured, so that didn't work out so well. And of course, they've got the ever so impactful Ketel Marte, who they say wasn't necessarily a good team player, but I don't know about all the details. Who had that crazy heckle session earlier this year, if you recall, when somebody was sitting there trying to say, "Oh, you ain't no better than your mom," or some crazy stuff. Yeah, so he was on this team, but he brings his talents finally, after getting traded from the Arizona Diamondbacks to the Seattle Mariners. And what's the first thing he do? He pops off. I want you to watch the rise in stats over the course of the last few years, and you can see why this is a good deal to make for the Seattle Mariners. First of all, even though Josh looked like he's about 35, 37, just in spirit, the dude's only 28 years old. He's got a long way to go in his career. And he also gets better every single year. If you look at his stats, you'll notice, even though it looks like the home runs may have gone down just a tick from 2024, you also have to consider the fact in 2025 he was traded. Okay, so right in the middle of the season, traded to a playoff team by going from the Diamondbacks to the Seattle Mariners. But you look at those homers, they don't go under 20 after 2024. Obviously, that's only 2 years, but it's the stolen bases that are the biggest deal. Allow me to just kind of bring this into the fold before we get into what I feel are some of Naylor's best moments worth talking about. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of his stats over the last few years and examine this with the fine-tooth comb. So if you take a look at this based on StatCast, StatCast. Oh my God, that's what it is, right? Is it right? Is it StatCast? Yeah, that's right. It's StatCast. Thank you. Okay, cool. So look at these last few. I want to focus on 2023 when he was with the Guardians. You will notice that he had the 17 home runs, but he only had stolen bases. If you look right here, only 10 stolen bases. It was 6 he had in 2024. Okay, but then you take this last year where he had 11 while he was with the Nationals, and then 19 with the Seattle Mariners, and you see that he clearly was like, nah, bro, what y'all ain't gonna do is have me out here looking like I can only hit home runs or like I can only do certain things. I also, even though I have been rated by some sources as the second slowest man in the league, I can also figure out a way to steal bases, which I think is phenomenal. But if I'm being honest, the biggest reason why Josh Naylor's impact is going to be so hard, so immediately felt. What if I did a whole thing like this? What if I did it like Kermit, right? What if I was, remember evil Kermit? Do it. I'm in the mirror. In fact, man, maybe I will. Maybe I will do the show like this. Let me go ahead. Just do it like this. Like, I can't because I can't see nothing. Anyway, so Josh Naylor, his impact will be immediately felt. Why? Because the dude played like he got his hair on fire. And I mean like in real life. When I say this dude is intense, his whole intensity is so easily. If I'm watching and I get hype, imagine if I'm in the dugout, it's so easily transferable to the rest of the clubhouse. And I think that that's why they wanted to have Josh Naylor on this team. So without further ado, I wanted to kind of get into what I think are, ladies and gentlemen, my top three Josh Naylor moments. So these moments occurred over the last few years that Josh has been around, even before he was with the Mariners. And I just want to kind of scoot back to, to when he was with the Cleveland Guardians. The dude was a whole beast. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Like, he has a vibe about him. And one of the things I love about Josh Naylor is how intense he is. The dude is hella intense, and he does things off the bat instinctively. I like the excitement era. So I want to go ahead and start with number 3, my third favorite play by Mr. Josh Naylor in the last couple of years. And it's not even really a play. This is just antics. It's when Josh Naylor walked off the Minnesota Twins in the 10th inning back in 2022. And when he did, he got so geeked up that he went over and headbutted Terry Francona. He headbutted Terry Francona in the head while he had his helmet on. Terry Francona specifically went to get a helmet just to get headbutted by Josh Naylor. If you notice, you'll see that he actually had his helmet on only for the duration of that headbutt, and then, bam, took it right on off. That's the guy that y'all just hired. Y'all got this dude in your dugout right now, okay? For the next 5 years, at least, if he makes it that long without being traded, all right? And I'm hoping that he gets at least a 5 or 10 AAV, 10 mil AAV, because, I mean, it's time to stop giving this dude under 10 mil, man. He already took y'all damn near to the World Series. All right, so play number 2 on my list. Okay. No, we're not gonna. Number 2 on my list of favorite Josh Naylor plays. Now, this one right here is from a couple years back. If you recall, back in 2022, when Josh Naylor was with the Guardians, he hit a solo home run off of Garrett Cole. All right, and Garrett Cole was, back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Everybody didn't really like it like that. He had just came over from the Astros. And Josh Naylor, because this was a walk-off in game 4, assuming that they was going to end up winning that series, he hits the ball, right? And he proceeds to rock the baby. Which is what I love. Like, this is what I love about sport. And not actually sports, but just baseball. I love the personified element. I love when they get outside of the whole, oh, we too mature, act like you've been there before. Nah, man, I want to see you rocking the baby, looking at Garrett Cole over, rocking the effing baby. He's my little son. You know what I'm saying? Like sitting there taunting the Yankees, bro, which they ended up not winning that series. And, I think it was actually Gleyber Torres who got a little get back at the end of that. But it don't matter because this is exciting. It's what makes you look forward to the next game. It's what makes you say, yo, I want to see what else Josh Naylor does whenever he hits the field. So that is number 2. Now, number 1, I got to take that feature off. Number 1 happened this year in the World Series. And in this one, I thought that this was crazy. A lot of Blue Jays fans probably ain't gonna like this. Not World Series, I'm sorry. In the NLDS, ALCS, holy shit, get your shit together, Vince. All right, in the ALCS, Josh Naylor was on first base, and he was about to run to second base when, boom, Jorge Polanco hits it to Ernie Clement. Ernie, boom, he set a pick for the ball. Like, he keeps the ball from going out to the first base, and you can sit here and say, oh, well, he didn't really do it on purpose. Yes, he did. He knew immediately what he was doing. My man is not stupid. He was completely aware that if he jumped in the way of this ball, it was going to prevent him. Now, the reason why you might get real mad is because he jumped. But if I'm being honest, there's a lot of this kind of stuff going on in the league where folks are running outside of the line and getting in the way of the path of the ball when it's being thrown to certain bases, and they're being taught that this is good base running, like this is defensive base running. That was a little intense, right? That was a little hard, but it shows that he's willing to take a bullet. You remember Bruno Mars? I catch a grenade for you. This is Josh Naylor catching a grenade for the Seattle Mariners. I'm gonna risk concussion, full on CTE. I'm gonna risk being knocked out. I'm going to risk getting brain damage. Do I take a straight bullet directly to the back of my head for my team? And that is the level of intensity that I think that the Seattle Mariners are looking to have contagion in their clubhouse. I honestly think that is one of the things that they consider, not to mention the fact that the dude stole like 20 bases and he's hella slow. All right, which means he's just smarter, right? Not to mention the fact that this dude got a really high baseball IQ, knows when to tag the base before tagging the player on the base, like he did on first base. Like, he just knows what's up. This is the type of energy, short of just the stats. This is the type of energy that I think that the Seattle Mariners are looking to keep in their clubhouse for the next 5 years or so. So I think that is very interesting. And I want to shout out Josh Naylor because nobody wants to be kicking around on different couches every other year. And it's nice for him to have a home, to possibly be able to purchase a home instead of renting, for him to be able to still be close to Canada, where he is from. All right. This is a Canadian dude. All right. And he's not from that side of Canada. If I'm not mistaken, he's a little closer to the Toronto area in a place called I can never say it, man. I can't forgive you. Mississauga, whatever. All right. He one of them Canadian dudes. All right. And so being in Seattle, I think, as opposed to being in the desert when he was with the Diamondbacks, I feel like it's probably a little more to his liking as a dude who grew up a hockey fan, to be in Seattle where he can quickly go over the border and find himself in British Columbia. All right. So I think that this is going to work out. I'm happy for Josh Naylor. Good on you, man. I hope that this I hope that this is a long-term thing for you. But I also hope that you don't have any dips, because I think that it is something to consider with places when people do come out of their comfort zone, which is for him being on the edge, kind of having to learn how to get a new job on an annual basis. Now that he does have a home, I wonder if this will make him take a dial back with regard to his level of intensity, since he does now have this added layer of comfort that he doesn't normally have. Let's be honest. Josh Naylor has been functioning on the free agent fumes for the last few years, being that he's getting just 1 year deal after 1 year deal. Now with 5 years, does that make him too comfortable? Does he put his feet up? Does he decide he doesn't need to try to steal so many bases because he's already got his long-term contract? I don't know. I guess time's just gonna have to tell. So we will see what's going on with that Canadian. In the arena of Canadians, I just wanted to go ahead and fast forward a little bit to another Canadian that I had on my mind, if you don't mind. This is a young man by the name of Denzel Clarke. Denzel Clarke, rising star, believe it or not, is actually a cousin of the aforementioned Josh Naylor. Yes, so him and Bo Naylor, cousins. Yes, and he is the the son of athletes as well. Now, I mentioned Denzel Clarke because Denzel Clarke, as I just mentioned, is also a Canadian. And I just wanted to spotlight this moment right here, because this moment where he's talking to Shohei, he's actually accepting his, I think it's the game of the year, or a prestigious award that he won at the MLB Awards. All right. He won all kind of awards the whole year, including, at the time, Play of the Week. And now, if I'm not mistaken, he wins Play of the Year. And I just thought that this needed to be spotlit, because not only does he win Play of the Year. Oh, have you not seen this play, by the way? Because it's completely ridiculous. If you don't know what Denzel Clarke is known for, we'll get to know yourself. This right here is what made him lose his rookie status, in my opinion. Because when you look at this play, you're like, nah, man, that ain't no rookie right there. Check this out. This is how he got this award. Check it. So you see him going up, boom, climbs the wall, tot. Spider-Man type reflexes. Oh, now you're getting why I'm a fan. Look, he go all the way over that wall, bro. All the way. Look how high he dunked on the wall. This is like the dude. How you dunk on the wall, bro? You know what I'm saying? He this happened hella early in the season, and he still won Play of the Year. And the reason why I want to spotlight him is because unfreeze. Hello. I know you ain't. Don't have my face looking like that. Oh, how about to say? The reason I wanted to spotlight him is because not only did he make this hellified crazy play, but in the few the times I've seen him on camera talking to the media and whatnot, he was not quiet. He has a personality, and I think that's worth spotlighting, because I do believe that, unfortunately, in some of the media outlets that we watch, they frown on folks when they show personality on the field, especially. I'm a big fan of trash talk, not necessarily shit talk like like familial, but I mean, like, I'm a big fan of when you actually can talk trash and back it up, especially like when Mookie Betts last year, when Roy Wood Jr. or when Amsinger asked him, like, yo, what do you think you can give in terms of advice to some of the folks that are out there in the crowd right now who wish that they could have your kind of success? And he was like, y'all just gonna have to wait 9 more years, 7, 8 more years. I love that. I don't want, just keep trying, successful. Nah, just wait, because we finna win. We finna run the ball. We finna run it all the way down the field. For however long, I'm gonna stop wearing hoodies because this is getting on my nerves. All right, it's too distracting. I got ADHD. It doesn't work well for me. So we just gonna keep on running it. We're gonna run it back. I love that. All right. Same thing with a ball like Josh Naylor. Josh Naylor, yeah, you could just hit the home run. But nah, why not rock the baby? Okay. Kind of like when I see Jazz, like, yeah, we're the best team out there. Kind of like when I saw JJ Rollins when he was saying like, yeah, back in the Phillies, I was like, yo, we the team to beat in the league, and what ended up making them think that they actually were the team to beat when they were with my man Ryan Howard and Chase Utley and all of them back in the day when they had their good team. I love that, man. I like it when people stir the drink like Reggie Jackson did. So we need players like Denzel Clarke. We need players like Barry Naylor. We need players like Mookie Betts. And so I think it's funny, though, that you get the trash talkers from north of the border. Has anybody noticed that? Huh? All right, so right now we got Denzel Clarke, who, when he accepted this award, basically told Dexter Fowler, I said Devin on another podcast, my bad, Dexter Fowler, who hit the home run in the Chicago Cubs win in 2016 out the park, said that first home run he hit could have been catchable if it was Denzel Clarke. That's why he's talking trash right there. He's saying, I would have caught that ball. And he might be right. But I love the fact that he called him out. And look at him. He looking like, yeah, I'm talking about you, homeboy. That's exciting to me. All right. But you got Dexter, Denzel talking all of his trash. You got Barry Naylor talking his trash and jumping in the way of the ball and rocking the baby and stuff like that. And then on top of that, look, also what you got in Canada is you got your boy Vladdy, who's sitting there talking about, oh, the janky low. Janky low. Saying it to two Yankees. Has the entertainment aspect of baseball been exported to north of the border? Are we now allowing the most fun and exciting players to come from everywhere but the United States? I mean, Mookie, yeah, that was fun. He was talking trash. But it just feels to me like a lot of the excitement that I'm getting when it comes to trash talk and stuff like that is coming from our good friends north of the border. Is that something that we're coaching? Are we now basically trying to train our players here in the States to be so kind and so professional and just so, do it like you've been there before, that we're actually conceding the excitement element to north of the border? Because this stuff is exciting, folks. I want to see folks talk trash. I want to see Joe Clark sit and talk trash on the baseball field the same way he does on the golf course. I don't think that stuff should be reserved for that. And you guys are allowing, and I'm not mad at it because I like to see these boys talk that trash. But if y'all are going to go ahead and just concede trash talk to north of the border, I think we might have some soul searching to do, America. I'm being honest. I'm not saying I want pro wrestling. I'm not saying I want violence. But I am saying I want some excitement. You don't have to be such a drag, man. My God, can we please just get some sort of personality injected into the world of baseball without feeling like it's something that's against the rules? I'm not saying go full Savannah Bananas, but I am saying, well, God dang, talk how you really feel. That's why, even though I'm sitting there talking about Canadians, that's why I'm happy that folks like Kike, who spoke his mind about the Yankees last year, and folks like Tommy Pham exist. Don't look at me like that, Tommy Pham. I want no problems, man. I don't want no problems, man. Calm down. Don't look at me like that. Hey, anybody asked y'all to come here? Who asked y'all to come here anyway? What's going on? All right, man. Anyway, let's go ahead and keep this going. Let me know in the comments if I have a point or not, if I am making no sense, if I'm just talking trash, if all this is completely stupid. I completely understand. Let's just go ahead and keep the conversation going. And I'm going to move on to my very last topic, which was, once again, even though I know it's kind of taboo, this one is going to involve a little show called Star Trek. Well, it's actually not a show no more. It's a whole movement. Hallelujah. But I want to see if I can get y'all to maybe run with me on this little theory. All right. Now, I'm not saying this is the best of all theories out there. But it is a theory that probably doesn't hold too much water, if I'm being honest. But I'm going to say it anyway. Okay, so I happen to believe that Star Trek may have been instrumental in predicting some baseball stuff, specifically Shohei Ohtani. All right, follow me. Calm down, hold on. Let me at least give you an idea as to why I'm talking about what I'm talking about. So, for anybody out there who was a fan or watched or paid any attention to a Star Trek show called Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine was a Star Trek that was about not a ship, but more of kind of like a bus station for spaceships, if you will. It was at the edge of a portal, a wormhole, sorry. And in that wormhole, you can get, it was a stable wormhole. All right, let me not get into semantics. All right, let me not worry about all that's not details. Long story short is the commander, not captain, the commander of that ship was a young man by the name of Benjamin Sisko. This gentleman right here. Benjamin Sisko was an avid baseball fan, all right? Black baseball. I mean, even though he grew up or came up in the 24th, 25th century, big baseball fan, all right? And in his quest for baseball, he can go to this thing called the holodeck. On the holodeck, he's able to look up some of his favorite and some of the most impactful characters in baseball. They list names like Ted Williams, number 42, obviously, you know, Jackie Robinson, but they also had this fictitious character by the name of Buck Bodine. Buck Bodine is a fictitious character. All right. Now, the funny thing about Buck Bodine is he's not actually on a real team. He's made up as somebody who plays for the London Kings. All right. But at one point in time, Sisko refers to him as one of the best, if I'm not mistaken, I want to go back and make sure I look this up, but as the best baseball player that walked the planet Earth. Now, Buck ain't no Shohei Ohtani. He's not a two-way player. In fact, he was a switch hitter that went from being a third baseman to a second baseman. He has a recurring role in the Star Trek Deep Space Nine series. But that's not the part that I'm focused on right here. The part where he has this role. The part I'm focused on is the fact that out of all of the cultures that they have in the Star Trek world to explore, of all of the cultures that the entire universe have, even all of the cultures that are just on the planet Earth, they saw fit to make the best player of baseball before baseball was phased out because only 300 people came to like the last game. They saw fit, the writers saw fit, that would be Rick Berman and Michael Piller saw fit to make the most impactful player of the lifetime of Avery Brooks, of Sisko, or at least of his interest, to be of Asian descent. Did they know something we didn't know? I mean, these are episodes that are coming out in the early 90s. And so we're probably only looking at like the dawn of the age of Ichiro, Hideki Matsui. You know, these are some of the prominent Asian players back in that day. And perhaps the rise of those Asian players' prominence led them to believe in the Star Trek writing rooms that if we're going to continue this sport, then we're probably going to see a lot of Asian dominance in this sport. And this is not any hate. I'm a huge Yamamoto fan, a huge Shohei Ohtani fan, even bigger Shota Imanaga fan for some reason. I just think he's hilarious. I'm even a Tom Sugar fan, Tomoka Shugano over in Baltimore. I'm a fan of these folks. Look, I don't have any problem with the Asian takeover because I don't feel it as a takeover. I feel like it's more of an expansion of the world of baseball to other cultures that are able to manage it and navigate it in a manner that makes it marketable in the areas that they exist, right? So I'm not sitting there saying, nah, we don't want that. But I do think, what I am saying is a better way of saying it. What I am saying is that it appears that this is not something that I thought alone, or excuse me, that was thought in an isolation. At some point in time, the writers, who evidently must have been baseball fans as well, may have been considering the possibility that there may be a huge uptick in other cultures dominating this sport. All right, they could have easily chose Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth. They could have easily chose Ted Williams. They could have chose Jackie Robinson. I mean, I'm sure we do see other characters in this. They could have chose somebody with a Latino background, or with a pure African background, or Canadian, or 100% American. But they went with somebody who had Asian descent. And for me, who knows? Since Star Trek was the first one to give an interracial kiss on screen, since Star Trek did give us the first instances in which we saw a lot of different cultures merge into one and get along on a deck, in which you have, at least not in this Star Trek, but in Star Trek with Kirk, where you have a Russian, where you have an Asian and Dr. Sulu, the Russian and Chekhov. You have an American with Kirk, who came from Iowa. You got Uhura, who's from Kenya. You have all of these different cultures where they predict that there's kind of a United Nations of sorts that exists in the realm of the future. It is fascinating that they chose this young Asian man to represent the best in baseball. And here we are living in the 25th century. Excuse me, in the year 2025, in the 21st century, and we're already seeing a lot of Asian dominance with the rise of folks like Yamamoto, the rise of folks like Shohei Ohtani, and the ones that I just know. Even with Dave Roberts, who is half Asian, he's if I'm not mistaken, he's half Japanese, Tommy Pham, and a bunch of others. So I just thought that was fascinating as I was watching it. Does it have any credence? Nah, probably not. Is it a silly concept? Yeah, probably. But it's an observation. Shohei Ohtani may have been predicted very well by the writers of Deep Space Nine. Rick Berman, Michael Piller, did y'all know what y'all was doing? Because it appears y'all may have predicted the future. And maybe there's even more to learn from some of these shows that y'all have given us. All right, man. I think that's enough for today. Let's go ahead and keep it going. A couple things that I'm looking forward to for the rest of this week. Since we do have now at least an idea of what's going on with Josh Naylor and the folks over there in Seattle, I am a little bit intrigued as to what's going to happen with the rest of the free agent market. So let's stay tuned for what's going to happen in that regard in these upcoming days and weeks. I'm hoping to hear what's going on with other folks, such as, I don't know, maybe Eugenio Suarez, who also came from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Also, I'm very curious what's going to happen with Pete Alonso. What are we going to do with the pitching staff over in Metsville, Queens? Are y'all going to bring back Diaz? What's going on with that? Kike Hernandez, is he only good for the playoffs? Are y'all not going to bring him back, LA? I'm curious. There's so many things to discuss. So let's go ahead and keep that energy as we flow into another day or two. And I look forward to speaking with y'all. Please, if you could do me a favor and like, comment, share, or at bare minimum, just, leave an emoji or something. I just sometimes like to hear whether or not I'm being heard or not. And then we'll go ahead and keep this bad boy going. I'm your boy, The Real Vince Taylor. It's always good to have somebody to talk baseball with, especially as it pertains to goofy stuff like a baseball nerd like myself like to talk about. So I hope to see you again on the next go around. Good luck, Seattle. Congrats to you, Josh Naylor. Can't wait to see more of the details. Look forward to seeing what's going on with Denzel Clarke. Keep talking that trash, Vladdy. And yeah, Buck Bokai. Go look him up, Star Trek fans. And we'll chat on the next go round. Dudes.
Peanuts and cracker jack.